In Activity 2, Seeds and Plants, students examine a variety of seeds, plant them, and study them as they grow and develop. They examine bean seeds closely and learn how seeds sprout, and then compare the growth of different kinds of seedlings and plants. You will need the following materials from the kit: Activity Sheet 2, Parts A and B, foam cups, droppers, magnifiers, planter sticks, plastic trays, 10-ounce containers, 1-ounce plastic cups, clover seeds, fava bean seeds, grass seeds, pea seeds, potting soil, and masking tape. You will also need to provide felt tip markers, 1-liter containers, sharpened pencils, metric rulers, paper towels, newspaper, large spoons, 0.5 teaspoon measuring spoon, and tap water. To prepare for Session 1, make a copy of Activity Sheet 2, Part A for each student. The day before, soak 32 fava beans in a container with water. Drain off the water after 12 hours of soaking, but keep the beans. Prepare the seeds in 1-ounce labeled plastic cups. Each team will need a half teaspoon each of grass and clover seed, 4 pea seeds, and 5 bean seeds. Set up a distribution station with a bag of potting soil, a large spoon, and paper towels. Each team of 4 will need a tray with 3 foam cups, a sharpened pencil, 4 pieces of masking tape, a marker, a metric ruler, 2 magnifiers, 6 planter sticks, 2 droppers, a 10-ounce container of tap water, a 10-ounce container of potting soil, and 4 1-ounce plastic cups containing seeds. To begin Session 1, distribute 1 dry fava bean and a copy of Activity Sheet 2, Part A to each student. Guide students to examine and describe the bean, recording their descriptions on their activity sheets. Then explain that beans are seeds. Next, distribute a soaked fava bean to each student. Challenge them to open the beans and find out what is inside. Students should be able to pull the 2 halves of the bean apart. They will notice that the outside skin of the bean peels off, and that at least some of the beans have a little white thing inside them. Inform students that a seed coat is the covering of a seed, and that the little white thing inside is the beginning of a plant. Next, ask students, how could we test to see if the beans will grow into plants? Answers may vary. Some students may suggest that they be placed in water. Others may suggest planting them in soil. Tell students that they will be setting up experiments to see if these beans and other seeds placed in soil will grow into plants. Divide the class into teams of 4 and distribute the materials. Allow students time to examine and describe the 3 new seeds on Part A of their activity sheets. Next, have students label their trays with the date and their team members' names. Then have them label the 3 foam cups as follows: beans and clover, beans and grass, and beans and peas. Then demonstrate how to use the tip of the pencil to punch 3 small holes in the bottom of the foam cup. Explain that the holes will allow excess water to drain from the soil in the cups. Instruct students to fill each foam cup with potting soil to a depth of about 6 centimeters, and then push 2 fava beans 1 centimeter down into the soil in each cup and cover them. Using the empty 1-ounce cups, pour about 2 cupfuls of water evenly over the soil. Then have students plant a second type of seed in each cup with the beans. They will push 4 peas about 0.5 centimeters into the soil, and then sprinkle the grass and clover seeds over the surface of the soil. Add enough soil to cover the seeds. Then have students water the second seeds by adding 3 or 4 dropperfuls of water on top of the additional soil. Finally, insert 2 planter sticks into each foam cup, about 3 centimeters apart, to support the bean and pea plants as they grow. Next, Have teams arrange their planters on their trays and place the trays in the area of the classroom where they will get some sunlight but are away from any direct sources of heat. Finally, have students make observations of their planted cups every other day for 7 to 10 days. When sprouts appear, give each student a copy of Activity Sheet 2, Part B, and distribute 2 magnifiers and a ruler to each team. Have students observe and measure the sprouts in the cups as they appear and record their observations on their activity sheets. Remind students to water their plants as needed. To conclude Session 1, return the materials to the kit. When all the team seeds have sprouted, schedule Session 2. To prepare for Session 2, make a copy of Activity Sheet 2, Part B for each student. Each team of 4 will need their trays with planter cups, 2 magnifiers, a metric ruler, a container of tap water, and 2 droppers. To begin Session 2, each student will need his or her copy of Activity Sheet 2, Part B. Distribute the materials and allow students time to observe and measure their plants once more and to water them if necessary. Ask students, what is happening in your foam cups? The grass and clover seeds should be sending up many green shoots, and some of the beans and peas should have grown above the surface. Explain that the first tiny plant that grows from a seed is called a sprout or a seedling. Ask students, are all the plants alike? Students will observe that the plants are not all alike. The grass sprouts are thin and straight, while the clover sprouts are thin with tiny green leaves. The bean and pea seedlings send up much thicker stems. Ask students, which plants are the tallest? Answers will vary. Grass and clover usually sprout first, but beans and peas grow taller and faster once they sprout. Have students draw pictures of their sprouts on Part B of their activity sheets. Finally, have students continue to care for the plants and observe, measure, and record their growth and development. The plants will be used again in Activities 6 and 10. To conclude Session 2, return the magnifiers to the kit. Air dry the containers and droppers and replace them in the kit. For science background, reinforcement activities, curriculum connections, and information about the Delta Science Reader, please consult your DSM Teacher's Guide.